Again, first of all, thanks everyone taking the time and joining the webinar. It means a lot to us. And yeah, let me get started, inshallah. So the story again never gets old. Every time it gets better. So when you talk about it, Alhamdulillah, we started the company, I would say, but officially like 4.5 years ago, unofficially, like you could say 5 years ago. Alhamdulillah, we started and it was by myself at first, but now we have over 80 people and we are expanding fast and there's a tremendous demand, Alhamdulillah, from Muslims around the world about halal investing. And because it's literally, I would say that it's quite untapped market. When we say that, it's not cliche, it is. A lot of people show interest, but they want to learn more about halal investing. So I just want to give about like maybe like 4 or 5 minutes of a personal story, which I think it really matters because I believe that any investor here wants to invest any money, they need to know closer like the management, especially the founders, like their personal stories, personal sufferings, why they start the company and everything. So I came to United States. We are in the New York area right now. So I came to the United States about 23 years ago. And I did my bachelor's degree. That's where I started. I was in finance. And one day when I was reading a book that was interesting story because I was a big fan of value investing, investing in something that's valuable, but it's a lot cheaper than what it actually value says. So I was reading a book and then on the book, I became a fan of Warren Buffett. Not because of his money, but because his like prowess, right? Because of his intelligence when it comes to investments. And so I was reading, and interestingly, it said that on the book he accepts only handpicked students from University of Tennessee in Knoxville to see at his office in Omaha. When I read the book, I was like, okay, I'm getting to the university and I'm gonna go to his office. So Alhamdulillah. So I got to the university, to one of the top universities in the state. So Alhamdulillah, I graduated as one of the top finance students. And my final year at the university, again, we went and we met Warren Buffett in his office in Omaha. We had amazing conversation. We had lunch. So it was a really, I would say that nice experience to have with the person who actually mastered at his job in when it comes to investing. So out of the school, the first job I had was equity research analyst in Tennessee, and we were actually providing equity research to big institutions like Charles Schwab. They own TD Ameritrade right now, and a lot of hedge funds. So while I was analyzing stocks for a living professionally, I soon to become realized like I also started investing myself. That was closer to like financial crisis back in it happened, right? While ago, 2008 and 9. So during the time I was investing, I was always thinking like, okay, I'm investing, but as a Muslim, am I investing in halal or not halal? You know, these things like always linger in my mind. And it wasn't just me. When I asked my friends, they were not even thinking about it. They were saying, oh, actually, I trade in derivatives. I do like that. I do options, call options, which is not completely non-Sharia compliant. So I said, okay, then you know what, there's a demand, and I said maybe a lot of people are going through the same stage, right? So when I start asking around back then, you know, you couldn't just Google it. You say, is Apple halal? You know, little nothing would come out back then. So I set out to actually, I said maybe we should start a company, you know, Muslims around the world. I came to United States, I graduated one of the top universities, and if I cannot figure this out myself, how would like millions of people gonna figure it out? It's impossible. So I think that Allah gave this opportunity to study abroad and to study, but now I felt like it was time to give the community back, right? Give back to community. So as soon as I realized, well, I want to start a company, which is amazing, but to make it successful, like what do I need? I was very passionate, but I didn't have enough skills, knowledge, I would say. I didn't have enough experience. I didn't have enough money. So those things are very important if you want to start a business and you want to make sure that, you know, like it doesn't fail, it succeeds. So I said, okay, let me be patient. So I went and I switched the job to like Wells Fargo Securities in Charlotte. Alhamdulillah, with that, I worked with the technology and finance team, like traders, and learned about how to build the trading platforms, right? Yeah, so I was very actively in that. So after that, I worked almost 8 years. In the meantime, I did my MBA from University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, one of the top technology universities in US. And I also did my CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst, one of the highest designations in finance. So I got the knowledge, I got the experience, and during that time, I was saving from my paycheck. I had the schedule, like I would pay myself $2,000 first before I do anything. So I saved it for years, Alhamdulillah. And then finally, at the end of 2020, Bismillah, we started the company, and then we didn't look back. Alhamdulillah. Right now, we're growing. Our platform became one of the most visited platforms in the world when it comes to Islamic finance. And last time I checked, we have 324,000 visits in a month. Now, Alhamdulillah, again, we're building the team so we can expanding. Our goal is to get to top 10 platforms in the world because there's nothing for Muslims out there. Literally nothing. We are one of the top platforms in the world, and we have way, way, way too much work to do. Like we haven't even done 1% of the work. But before I take any questions, that was my personal story. But Alhamdulillah, it wasn't just me. Then I said, you know what? I said Allah will open the way because the niyyah is, we say, pure. Alhamdulillah. Then now more and more people joining. Now we have more than 80 people. We have an office in US. Now we are about to open an office in Canada. We have an office in Uzbekistan and in UAE, Dubai. And Alhamdulillah, soon we have a good amount of team in India. So we're setting up official in India. So the team is expanding. It's becoming truly global in nature. And one of the best parts I can be the most proud is like we have over 528,000 people right now. And the best part, they come in more than 200 different countries. Like that's completely global. So I'm really proud because so we represent, Musaffa represents more countries than United Nations does. So that's very interesting topic because that shows the unity of Muslims coming all around the world under one roof. And that roof is actually we building Musaffa, right? So before I take any questions, I want to mention something painful, but at the same time, inshallah, we are working towards the solution. So I live in the United States. A lot of people probably live here in the Western countries as well. It's not like back home, like, I lived in Dubai, which is amazing. You go any restaurant, everything's halal. You don't need to question. But in US, for example, I want to eat something halal, I have to Google. And sometimes we have to drive like half an hour to get to somewhere you want to eat halal. But we still drive like half an hour, maybe 20 minutes drive because you know what? I just want to make sure the food is halal. I want to make sure my children eat halal food. We care about that eating food. But when it comes to investments, when it comes to our money, unfortunately, that's not the case. A lot of people make like knowingly, unknowingly, they invest in something that they're not supposed to. They invest in derivatives. They invest in stocks that's not Sharia compliant. They don't. And then there is the even if they invest in companies that's Sharia compliant, there's always a portion they need to purify. There's almost always, I would say, there's a little bit revenue might be coming from interest income then they have to purify. That's why we build on the system. Right now, Alhamdulillah, Musaffa, you can even calculate the purification amount, how much you need to purify, give to charities. So we're doing so much. So why is it so important? Why is it so important to eat to not eat? It's so important. For example, you say, well, as a Muslim, I think that's number one thing that separates us is like I don't eat pork. Okay, well that's good. But do you eat riba? Well, and then that's where it comes, right? So how come is it okay not to eat but eat riba, right? So and unfortunately that becomes like in Western account that became the very common thing. And for Muslims as well. And always there's justification. Oh, because I don't have an option. Well, there is an option, inshallah. That's Musaffa. We're building that. Now, going forward, Musaffa is inshallah gonna be our goal is to get to 30 to 50 million users in the next 5, 6, 10 years because the market is there. We just need to really work hard. That's one of the reasons we're raising funds. So again, before I get to ask questions, I know it was a little bit took a little bit longer, but I really want everybody to understand the pain point that Muslims are facing globally and what Musaffa is doing along with our team, inshallah. So again, that's why Musaffa is creating working on a solution where where we will have an option. We cannot just say, oh, I have to get the mortgage from this, I have to do this because I don't have an option. And that's been a really like classic excuse as for us Muslims in the Western countries. So now, once we build our own platform, we don't have to have that, right? We will have an option to do 100% halal way. Why we care so much not to feed our children the not halal things, right? So we drive like half an hour to like restaurant just make sure the food we eat is halal. But as Muslim, why don't we really care about our finance being halal? That's even more important. If you go to restaurant, maybe you eat one time, but if your income is almost always like coming from non-halal sources and you're feeding yourself and your children, that's even worse in my opinion. And that's why we're building. This is a real pain point for Muslims. But if we don't fix this issue as Muslims ourselves, nobody's gonna come and fix for us. Nobody cares. In the United States, when they research, we have more than 10,000 financial institutions alone, and that's managing about $145 trillion. But how many percent of that actually is actually really serving Muslims' interest? Unfortunately, almost none. You know, yeah, I even have people reach out to me on LinkedIn say, "Oh, you guys building Sharia compliant companies? You guys want to get loan? It's very low interest, it's only 4%. You just say Sharia compliant. Why you want to give me interest?" So unfortunately, that's the world we live in. But Alhamdulillah, Musaffa, we are very passionate, and we're getting almost, Alhamdulillah, the day passed by, we also like a lot of very talented team members are joining day by day. Alhamdulillah. Sister Nusra, alhamdulillah, right now she's working on building our academy, Musaffa Academy, which is one of the most important pillars of Musaffa. Teach about Islamic finance, what's halal, not halal, right? And the more we teach, the more people are coming. And she's also very high qualified, alhamdulillah. Proud to say that she's a Princeton and Columbia graduate. And she gave up the salary that she was making twice more just to join Musaffa because she's like, this is where I belong. This is where I want to help my community, my ummah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, we can take more questions. I think I just got a little bit, I just want to give a little more comprehensive like look into why we're building Musaffa.
No, I'm really glad you did. Jazakallah khair, Dr. We had a question about like Musaffa's long-term plans, vision, and I think you can bring up a little bit more of our features, like what we're planning on releasing and
Sure. Excellent question. So Musaffa is not just one app or one platform. You know, this is not what we're building. We're building ecosystem. What does it mean, ecosystem? Without ecosystem, it's not gonna work. It's gonna fall apart. So for example, like screening, they say, oh, it's a screening company. No, screening is one of the important features that we provide. That's not the solution, complete solution. The complete solution will be peace of mind. For example, like I love that model, business model that Costco has. I shop there a lot. So when I go there, Costco, you pay one annual membership, I think under $20, and then you get to enjoy the discount, right? And then you don't need to worry about am I getting a good deal. But imagine there's a Costco style business model, right? Where we charge only one fee, like subscription fee, and then they get to have anything they want on the platform, inshallah. Of course, we have several plans. But this is the challenge we're facing. I want to come up with a little bit about the vision and how it's going to relate to our future plans. So, yeah, thank you, brother Umar. It is inspiring journey. It is. It's extremely inspiring, brother. It's been 5 years. I didn't take a single day off yet because I'm so excited myself, like because we just keep working every day because there's so much to do. So, come back to that. If I go to Costco, for example, like every time I go to Costco, the biggest challenge that I have as a customer, as a Muslim, I cannot buy meat unless it's halal. And then there is no halal section. Even though there is a halal section, there's only like two options and they're really bad. So there's nothing in there as Muslims. Even if you go to like kosher section, they have plenty of items. So what does it tell you? We are big in numbers, but we don't even have an influence in US, for example, to have our own section at Costco. Why am I bringing it up? So we were building a Musaffa. Once you pay, imagine like Costco, you go or any kind of shop, you go, everything's halal. Maybe it's okay in Dubai. We enjoyed it. I lived there for 6 months. I enjoyed because you don't have to worry about that. But I'm just giving it's more like an analogy. So imagine you go somewhere like everything is Sharia compliant. I'm just giving you an example as a Costco, but let's say you go type musaffa.com, everything Sharia compliant. That's a peace of mind. That's the ultimate goal. And how do we provide that? So people come say, Musaffa.com, I can trust this company wholeheartedly. Musaffa.com, I can buy gold, later on silver. I can buy anything liquid asset because that's where we specialize right now, like stocks and ETFs. So I don't have to have a second thought. But how do we make that journey quite very easy, right? Less with less effort. So number one thing, you come to Musaffa.com. A lot of people are coming. This I want to learn about halal investing. I want to learn how to analyze stocks. I want to learn how to invest myself. I want to educate myself. And there are Islamic companies right now. They say, you know what? Unfortunately, that's the case. They're not fixating on the education of Ummah, but they like educate fixating on making money. How? You go there, they say, "Oh, you have like $100,000, just give it to me," you know. And a lot of unfortunately, a lot of Muslim asset managers I talk to, they're all gonna say, almost all of them, "Oh, you know what? We'll just take their money. We'll do it. They're not gonna understand." I said, "No, no. You can educate the people. They need to make informed decisions." So instead of like saying $100,000, give me, I'll manage it. Don't ask me question. We don't want to take that approach. At Musaffa, our intention is pure. It says we want to educate as many people as we can through Musaffa Academy, so that they can also make informed decisions themselves. But if even if they have an asset manager they want to talk to, at least they'll be knowledgeable what questions to ask their asset managers, right? So education is very important. So when you come to Musaffa.com, number one, I would say the number one would be, actually, if you guys don't mind, I can share quickly on the slide. One second. I had it open. So it's actually invest.musaffa.com where we're raising money right now, as you guys can see. And if you go here down, there is a plan. So product line. So what it means, again, the first time you come to Musaffa, if you don't know about much about finance, you want to learn more, there's a Musaffa Academy. That's where Sister Nusra is working. Inshallah, we are gonna build with the tons of videos, very easy to learn, like a Coursera kind of style. Musaffa Academy we intend to build. We have already started, but inshallah, with more investment money, we can actually do much more than that. We can, I think this is also a gateway to get like millions of users, because through education. So Mustafa Academy, again, not everybody has to go through that. If they're more knowledgeable, they can skip it. But I'm telling you, I've been in finance for 20 years. I was talking to a brother from that works in Facebook the other day, Muslim brother. When we talk to a lot of people, we realize very educated people don't have very common Islamic financial knowledge. As I was saying about the purification, when I say like, oh, I never purified, I didn't know that thing exists. Oh yeah, you have to purify to be completely Sharia compliant. So Musaffa Academy is important. The second one, you can for now you can actually come to our platform. You can download the app. You can screen literally hundred thousands of stocks, almost all stocks in the world, and then ETFs in the world, right? About exchange trade funds, and you can see which one Sharia compliant or not right here. And the next thing comes very important fundamental research. This is where traditional research comes in, because saying something Sharia compliant or halal doesn't mean it's a good investment. It could be very bad investment. It could be very Sharia compliant, but very bad investment, right? Those are not same thing. Unfortunately, a lot of Muslims, they say, oh, is it halal? Look, I'm investing in it. No, no, hold on. That's a condition. That's one of the most important conditions, right? To be Sharia compliant. Then you have to fundamental research. That's where you do like that our analysts, inshallah, are gonna do fundamental research about finding intrinsic value of the stock, which is overvalued, undervalued, right? And once we have it, and then we have something called investing in halal stocks. So on the platform itself, you don't need to go outside. Again, it's a journey. So again, you learn about halal investments if you want. It's an optional. And then you do screening, you do fundamental research. And at the same platform, you buy and sell your stocks. You don't need to go open a Robinhood account anymore, inshallah, coming soon. You don't need to go to Western countries, right, which don't represent us. A lot of people say, why should I open an account in you and Robinhood? Okay, well, Robinhood is good, but let's say you have $10,000. You put in Robinhood. Okay. So let's say you're not investing, that stays as cash for a month, for 2 months, 3 months, right? Cash. So what do you think Robinhood does with your money? The first thing they do, they take it, they give it to margin lending for 8, 9% interest rate. So even though your money is not earning interest for you, it's earning interest for them. So you are still being a vessel. So there's a lot of things like that they do that it doesn't align with our values. So again, inshallah, we're launching our own investing trading. We do have right now, we have a portfolio integration and they can do some trading, but it's like we call it integrated trading, but it's not perfect. But inshallah, soon with the money we're going to raise, that inshallah that you guys going to fund. So we are also actively getting our SEC license soon and launching our own trading platform where you don't have to go. You just go to musaffa.com, open an account, and you just start trading halal stocks. And the best part of it, once you buy and sell your stock, there is almost always a portion that's, we call it like not halal portion. What do I mean by that? By Sharia, basically we follow AFM methodology, and they say at least 95% of revenue has to be halal or Sharia compliant to invest. So sometimes, let's say you want to invest in technology company, and it's perfectly like Sharia compliant. But let's say they have some money, cash they got from investments, and then they just put in the bank and they accrue interest, right? Let's say the company makes like just to make it example, makes like $100,000 profit. And then you look it up, maybe 1,000 or $2,000 came from interest income. So can you invest in it? Sharia says as long as the core operations of the company is Sharia compliant and they're not in the business of making money by giving to loan like banks do, they're not in the business of making interest income. You can invest under the condition that $1 or $2,000. Your initial intention when you're investing should be like, I disassociate myself from this extra interest income they're gonna make. I disassociate completely. That's why I buy the shares, but when I sell it, automatically it goes to charity, that portion. So that's called purification process. And we have built that into Musaffa right now. Like a lot of people, they can right now actually integrate it and they can automatically calculate the purification. So they don't have to worry about, they should not worry about, oh, how do I purify my income every time they buy and sell? And it's automatically integrated into the platform. We already have it, by the way. Inshallah. So that's also happening. That comes like next one, a purification, and we call it investing cleanly, exiting cleanly. So you come in clean, you go home clean, you make the money. You know what? The best part of it, what's Musafa providing? Peace of mind, knowing that your investments are halal and you're also making money. It's like you can do both at the same time. This is the plan in the short term. In the long term, Allah knows best because the more data we have, the more customer users we have. Let's say we have like 30 million users, 50 million users. So what's going to happen with inshallah when we get there? So once we have user data, naturally there will be some kind of like we could start with the digital banking because why not? If you have a trading platform and everybody's putting the money, we want to able to let them use their debit cards to do transaction for the money that they're not investing. Automatically becomes like digital banking. So there will be, but we're not focused on that. We're super focused right now on building the A to Z platform to make the investment Sharia compliant and investing easy. And in the long run, Allah knows best. One example, when Amazon started, I remember I came to the United States 2003. When I bought my books, it was only for books. There's nothing else. Now Amazon have AWS making billions of dollars. So again, business might evolve. Allah knows best, but in the foreseeable 3 to 5 years, inshallah, we know exactly what we want to do. Okay. I hope I was able to answer.
Yes, thank you so much. Let's see, there are some questions. So
Yes,
we
you can invest from Kazakhstan. Sorry to
no,
Nusrat, I
no
was reading
worries.
it. So, about investments, that's another amazing thing that I'm gonna bring up about investments. I think this question is gonna come up anyway. So, as I told you guys, we have 228,000 people right now, more than that, right? On the people coming all around the world, over 200 different countries. I think around 206 different countries. And there are some islands I never heard about that, alhamdulillah, then I learned the names of those islands that Muslims are actually subscribing. That's why we feel extremely proud. When it comes to investments, we had an option to go and try to get like any Muslim company does, unfortunately. They go and try to get the big money from anywhere, as long as investment money, right? But I said from the get-go, I told you guys I start saving my money. I spend my own like $250,000 to run the company for a year and a half. I paid everybody's salary from my own pocket. And of course, the team was overseas. So, and I said, you know what? One of the reasons we're doing crowdfunding, I was thinking about talking to VCs and everything at the initial stage. One of the brothers told me from New York, who happens to work in finance, why are you trying to like go with the big guys? You have no idea where the money comes from. Why don't you do equity crowdfunding? I said, what do you mean? It actually became legal, so now companies can raise. And I did some research. I said it's beautiful because the brother told me you have a passion project that any Muslim can understand, and there's a true need for this product, and people will support you. I said I read a book about equity crowdfunding. I said let's get started. Alhamdulillah, right now we have we passed more than 800 investors worldwide, 800 individuals, and we have like people invest $1,000. One investor we invest $1 million. So we had even like the World Cup champion, Nabil Fekir from France, soccer player, World Cup champion in Russia 2018, I believe. He also became one of the biggest investors, investing more than $500,000. And now he's also our ambassador, promoting Musaffa to the world. So investors coming from every single part of the world. Right now we have investors come more than 50, 53 different countries, last time I checked. 53. We had people coming from US. Interestingly, France is number two when it comes to investments. France is like amazing. I mean, a lot of people investing from France. But again, brother asked from Kazakhstan. Yeah, I don't know if we have from Kazakhstan. We have from Uzbekistan. already investors. So you can invest from any part of the world. Because remember, when you invest, you're investing in United States-based company. Just it's extremely important to understand. We are New York-based and US-based. You're gonna be investing in Musaffa Inc. That's formed in Delaware, United States. That's where the most corporations are incorporated. So we are Musaffa Inc. then has multiple subsidiaries. Right now, one is like Musaffa LLC, that's in New Jersey. We have Musaffa Financial Solutions, that's in Uzbekistan. Inshallah, soon it's gonna own the Dubai entity, and then inshallah we open in India, in Canada. So you are investing in a parent company. So the company grows, you're gonna get the whole benefit of it. So basically, when I tell people, I like to tell them, look, I start the company, now I'm asking you to become a partner. You invest in a company, you basically own a company like I myself own the company, right? So yeah, you can invest from any part of the world, inshallah, because you will be owning a US company shares. And wherever you are, you could be in Kazakhstan, you could be in Dubai, you could be anywhere, Singapore, doesn't matter. As long as you have your certificate, you can always claim it. That's what's beautiful being global and on top of that, being a global Muslim company, alhamdulillah.
Thanks, brother. Not. Do you want to chime in? Okay.
No, I didn't want to chime in on because the Shadika covered really good, but I noticed that there is a really, really good question, which the Shadika partly addressed, but I believe that question was a main topic of the today's as well, where we talk a lot about the features. Archir, he's asking that you talked about the halal is the only first part of the checking. Does Musaffa have any plans of having features like stock recommendations? When do you do the research, fundamental, technical, to recommend the stocks at the specific time, weekly, monthly? Do you want
Yes,
to
yes,
chime in
I'll
on
take
that
it.
one because it's a
Yeah.
really good topic?
Yeah, exactly. This is where actually my background is as a CEO and the founder of the company. I used to be equity research analyst for years. I used to analyze stock for fundamental analysis, do like go through the footnotes in detail and do multiple adjustments, coming with the economic profit of the company versus accounting profit. So this is where this is my true passion lies as well. So, but as you guys know, the raising funds and starting a company is not an easy task. But alhamdulillah, we start with Allah's help. Right now, we for the first $4 million that we raised and we spent in the last 4 years, we built the technology. We're still building it, but at least we built the amazing screening technology where we can screen 100,000 stocks in real time, right? In real time, in like as soon as you, our analysts, we have more than 20, 24 analysts. We're hiring 10 more right now, inshallah. So they sit down and do every single stock from Sharia compliance perspective. They go A to Z. One stock has to go at least three different analysts before it's published. That's called quality control. If one analyst makes a mistake, second one catches. Second one makes a mistake, third one, which is a senior analyst, before publishing, he's gonna check one more time. So it takes a lot of process to go through that because we take it extremely seriously. When we say something should be combined or not, we have to stand by it. But the second section, again, as this brother or sister asked, yes, it's extreme. We are building it, but again, it takes funds. That's why when people ask me, why don't you have the trading platform? Yes, we'll have it. That's why I'm talking to you. We need the investment money, right? Bring in. So let your money work for Muslim cause, right? For Muslim, educating Muslims around the world, right? I mean, so building the recommendations and inshallah, we will also integrate the AI to the best of our knowledge, like, so we are building again, as I said, comprehensive journey. You should, as a people, when they pay fees as a customer, they should not worry about any of this. They should not have the fragmented experience. They screen from this company, they go invest in this company, they go to chart in this company, right? They learn from this company. Like 4 or 5 different places we're putting in one place, seamless interaction. I think that's where we provide the most value. And when people ask me, do you really think you're going to get 30 million people on the platform or 50 million people on the platform, 100 million? Absolutely. Why? Well, TradingView has 100 million users, they claim. TradingView, one of the top platforms in the world. Investing.com, which is a research platform, they claim to have 100 million users. And where is for Muslims? Who's caring about the Muslims? They don't care. It's all about interest over there. So we're building a platform right now and we're targeting 2 billion people. When I said that, of course, not everybody in 2 billion, but 400 million people are at the age of 18 and 45 and who can read and write. 400 million. All we need to get is to, out of 400 million, inshallah, get like 40 to 50 million people. And Muslims are over years, we are expanding, right? The population is even getting bigger, which is works for our advantage. So, so for example, if you ask anybody in the team, probably like in 3, 4 years, are you gonna have 500,000 users on the platform? They'll be like, wow, 500,000, that's a half a million. We already passed, alhamdulillah, over 1 million installs, app installs. Our rating on the app right now about 4.7, 4.8 out of 5. That's, in my opinion, that's quite higher, alhamdulillah. Of course, we work day and night to keep it that way. But imagine all our reports, Sharia compliance reports, are posted in detail online. Like anybody can come in, subscribe, and they can see details like very detailed where they make the revenue. Why are we so confident? Because we do the work. We're not, by the way, one of the things that Musaffa is doing extremely proud of as a team, we are pioneering. We're not following anybody, alhamdulillah. We are pioneering. We came up with the world's first true ETF screener, halal screener. Now why am I a pioneer? All the things that we do in analysis, we have Sharia scholars from Dr. Aznan Hassan from Malaysia. He actually sits on the board of AOFE. AOFA is the organization, it stands for Accounting and Auditing of Islamic Financial Institutions. That one actually makes the rules what's screening methodology, like makes the rules what's halal or not. So our Sharia scholar, Sharia advisor sits on the board where they make the rules, alhamdulillah. So I don't know how close you can get to the source. Alhamdulillah. And then we have this the Mufti Faraz Adam. And when you ask them, any of you, we encourage them, talk to them, especially Mufti Faraz, and ask about Musaffa. And our analysts keep them super busy. Like we have more than 500 line items. How are we going to treat every line items? And those questions has not been asked before from these world-renowned scholars. And they said nobody asked for it. We took, for example, we're not gonna go and tell them how do we treat pork. Everybody knows, okay, it's not halal. But how do you treat the unrealized gains from hedge activities for oil contracts? That'd be like, okay, then they have to go and do the research and come back. So all the line items we have, all the information, that's IP, intellectual property that Mustafa is building right now. And on top of that, inshallah, we're going to be building our customized ETFs and everything. So to answer, yes, we're building. We have a grand vision. I can tell you when I said I'm not exaggerating, we have not even done 1% of the work yet. There's so much work. There's another like 10, 15 years of work. Right now we can write we already have a product pipeline. But now we're telling people, brothers, we have the knowledge. We are bringing the best, one of the best talents in the world. Like in the United States, we start hiring in Canada, United States. And imagine the Muslims, the brilliant mind Muslims out there working for American Express, working for Wells Fargo, it could be anywhere else, but they don't feel home. So when they come to Mustafa, they're like, okay, here on the emails we say assalamu alaikum to each other. This is what's missing piece. And why do we have to, settle for less? I mean, we are smart people. We just need to get together and do the work. And also like that's why we're reaching out to our own community, telling them sincerely, look, we're building this one. And it's not like I'm taking, I personally invested my life savings. I saved for years, maybe like 6, 7, 8 years. I saved my money. At the time, it was huge money for me, still huge money, $250,000. I started, and then even though we had invested, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go all the way. I end up selling my car, my house, my apartment overseas, and I cashed out my 401k. I put everything there because you know what? I have 3 degrees. Inshallah, worst case, I can always go back and get a job. But how often do you get a chance to start a company that actually makes a real change in Muslim world? And that's very, very, very personal. So Alhamdulillah, we started then, and it's not just me. Brother Rinat joined from almost get-go, and he had a very good, he was practicing law in a very reputable law firm. And he jumped in. He's like, you know what? We're gonna build our own future. And Sister Nusrat, for example, jumped in like she was working, she was making good money. As I said, the people are joining forces because now we're also reaching out to community saying that why don't you guys back us up? I know you could invest in Apple or Tesla right now, but again, this investment you do Musaffa, again, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. When I invest my $250,000, there was no guarantee. But we say, inshallah, we do our best. That's what we tell investors. We are very honest with our money, with investors' money, but we say, inshallah, we're gonna work day and night. We're gonna make it right, but the barakah and the result from Allah. That's what we say. This is all we can do. And that's why I tell people like, okay, you can invest in different companies. You might even make money. Yeah, that's good. But I said, how often do you get a chance to invest in a company that's really working with a mission that's truly immense, bigger than ourselves, in a mission that's want to transform like Islamic world when it comes to finance? You know, we had a saying like, if you don't want to be general, you're never gonna be a good soldier. You always want to be a general. So our goal is to be like number one platform in the world, like not just Muslim, non-Muslim in general. This is why you're gonna head. At least you're gonna end up in the top 10, right? The goal has to be quite ambitious, and the mission and vision has to be ambitious. So Alhamdulillah, anyway, we're going that way. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. We had a question, and I'll try to I'll try to tease out what the question was actually referring to, but
Please.
it was in regards to investing in Musaffa versus investing with Musaffa. I know we run into this confusion a bit of I think someone is assuming that when you invest in Musaffa, we're investing on their behalf or we're investing in stocks for them. So can you just differentiate the
Yeah.
difference between being a shareholder and then being a user, for example?
Okay. Yeah, and that question comes up so much often because we are building investment platform, right? So there are two ways to get, again, investing in Musaffa with Musaffa, there's difference. What we are offering you to invest in Musaffa, get Musaffa's own shares and be owner of Musaffa itself. Right now, our shares are selling $2 a share. Last year, it was a dollar one share, and now it's doubled, alhamdulillah. And we believe that as we advance getting our SEC license, inshallah, and getting our trading platform, and right now we're working towards our break-even point. We have like over 4,000 people paid already for subscriptions. So now we need to scale up. We need to get to 30 to 40,000 subscriptions when we break even. All those things, inshallah, should work to increase the value of the company. So let's say you buy a $2 a share. Again, Allah knows best. It could become three, four, $5, five, 10, $20 in time as long as we keep growing. And for example, I cannot, again, we can never ever promise what's going to happen in the future. Allah knows best. But I can tell you what happened in the past. Our first investor, whoever came in, invested about 200, it's not about exactly $200,000, and shares were back then 25 cents. Right now it went up to $2, and now it's like his investment went up 8 times today's value. So that $200,000 investment became 1.6 million in about less than 3 years. And actually, one thing I need to show you, a lot of people don't know, even though we share it, because I think we need to do a good job at being very, very transparent. But if you go here, investmusaffa.com right now, right? So Alhamdulillah, as you guys can see, we had over, I think we just passed 810 investors. Alhamdulillah, as you guys can see, more people are coming and joining. And we have only like 3 days left, 3 days left. So if you go somewhere here, offering circular, if you please, anybody like invest.com, right underneath something called offering circular. If you click on it, this is a file that we filed to Security Exchange Commission. So a lot of people say, how can I trust you? You're a legit company. I just send this link. Okay, that should tell everything about being trusted. What it means. For example, why do you invest in Tesla? Why do you invest in Apple? Why do you trust them? Because you know that they're doing legit way because they filed the documentation with the US government agency. And even though we are not public, we're still required to file. Even though a private company right now, we're not public, but we're still required to file the Form C to raise funds from the public. Because when it comes to like, if you want to raise funds from like millionaires and billionaires, government usually doesn't get involved. It says, you know what, they're smart people, they'll figure it out. But when it comes to public, they're gonna say, you know what, we have to protect the public. If somebody invests in $1,000, $5,000, 10,000, like it's crowdfunding. And the government says you have to be very transparent. You have to show everything as much as you can to these investors. And we said we'd love to. It's not just we've been transparent. We're a Muslim company. We have to be transparent, right? It's amana. So this is why we filed about 80, actually 60 pages of information. This is where you're gonna find out all the financials, how many employees we have, and you can find out almost like there's a content table of contents. You can see the risk of investing in the company. You can see the business, intellectual IP, what our business plan, how we're gonna use the money, and who are directors, financial information. This is like a legit company. Like the only thing is that if you want to go to IPO, which is like initial public offering, become a public, the transition will be quite easier because we're already halfway there with transparency. So if you look at here, it tells you like again, by the way, if you invest, you also get a bonus shares. And especially for existing investor, we give extra bonus shares. We want to, because we do appreciate their trust in us. So here's the thing I want to mention quickly. So this is where it shows like, again, you're more than welcome read it. This is our, by the way, this is a business section is very important if you want to go read it before you invest. Business section, and then talks about Musaffa's achievements, the numbers getting updated. It says 492 when we filed. Now it's like 528,000. So Alhamdulillah, it's like we already gained about 30 to 40,000 people. So if you look at here, this is gonna specifically talk about the current offerings, what we are offering right now, what's the plan, fundamental investment research, right? And what the future, what's the future upcoming features. And it tells you exactly like what we plan, and it shows our product roadmap, very transparent, what we plan to do over time. And then also here, if you go a little bit down here, you can also find this information. Once we raise funds, how we plan to use the funds, like a product software development. A lot of people ask, I'm gonna give you the like $10,000 investment. What are you gonna do with the money? Okay, you know what? What I did my own money when I invest my own money, right? So everybody's gonna put in one pool, and that money will be used to accelerate Musaffa's growth. And that's called investment. For example, to make it easy, like three, four friends, instead of like each one opening a restaurant, they can put the money together, and they can hire a professional cook, right? And they can manage it from outside as a shareholder. This is what's happening with Musaffa. Now people, they have money, come and support the vision. You invest in our own stock, $2 a share, and then tomorrow, let's say $5, $10, $20. Inshallah, again, there's always a risk. That's why you guys need to be very go through this if possible, and make informed decisions. But as the company keeps growing, investment go growing. Why am I telling you this? Look, we are so alhamdulillah transparent. Look at this. This is one thing amazing. This is actually we call previous offering and securities. This is how we raise funds, how much exactly companies raise funds and when it raises funds. So if you look at here, this is the first investor we had, $200,000. Right now, look at the number of shares. It's almost 800,000 shares. Multiply by $2 a share. That's like almost $1.6 million. So his investments almost went up 8 times in about less than 3 years. And this is what happened when we were just building our system. We're not even scaling up. Right now, we're asking money to scale up. So, for example, right now we have 4,000 around like plus minus 4,000 paying users. Let's say when we get to 40,000, we will break even. That means we don't need investors' money to pay our expenses anymore. We are feeding ourselves. In that case, the value of the company is gonna go up. It has to go up, right? Why? Because the company becomes a lot less riskier. And then in that case, the share stock price could go to 3, 4, 5, 6 best at the time, right? So again, as you see, another 335, $500,000 came in one time, and you can see another 500,000 some came in from I believe here somewhere from Nabil Fakir, right? Here we go. There's one 500,000 came in and another 500. I think this came from a World Cup champion, as I was discussing, right? Who invest over actually invest like $700,000. So anyway, we are extremely transparent. You're more than welcome to read it. On top of that, we have audited financial reports done by an independent CPA firm. You can also go through all the finance. Again, extremely transparent as much as we can, because transparency only build trust and even bring more investments, inshallah. I think I was able to answer. But when you say investments Musaffa, that means like we come to our platform, we pay a membership fee, and then, inshallah, coming soon, we will have on our own trading platform. Inshallah, you're gonna say, "Oh, I want to put like $100,000," and you're gonna start buying Tesla, Apple, whatever, whichever share you can buy, buying and selling on the platform. That's investing through Musaffa. That's not what's happening here. Here is happening. We're telling you guys, please invest in our company. Trust our team. Trust us. So we're gonna do our best. Again, Allah knows best. We're gonna do our best to make sure that we work for you, and then we make sure that inshallah you'll have a good return on investment.
Very quickly, I want to add, as the Shalika covered the funding aspect of the investing in, and also the point that is related about the investing with Musaffa, the component that we support all the investment analyzing and screening and everything, right? So that you can get through your membership. But one very important aspect that people confuse also, and they really like, it's wealth management, right? So we don't support any wealth management at the moment. We're working towards that to get the license, but it's a completely separate, right? And most people understand that when they invest, there's something that their money is taken and then put into some stocks or some shares, which is not at the not through crowdfunding that we're raising funds for our own company, right? You're becoming a shareholder. We're not taking your money and then investing in some companies and then giving you a return, which the other companies do, which we're planning to get the license on that front and then operate in that space as well. But they currently the what we are talking about, it's investment in the company. The company itself grows, Musaffa itself grows and then becomes successful, and that you get the benefits, you reap the benefits of this growth. Inshallah, just wanted to make that clarification as well. There's no money management of your money. Sometimes we hear from people, okay, I'm putting my $1,000. How I'm gonna get the returns, or how you're gonna inform us where you invested it, something like that. There's nothing like that. But please make sure that this is you are just becoming a shareholder, a partner of those all invested into Musaffa.
Okay. And one question asked about this question keeps coming up. You have a 4 million target, but you only raised 750. Let me tell you what's happening. So we put the 4 million. Next time we'll change it. We put the money we need only, because the thing is like this 4 million is not intended only for one round. Actually, it's a multiple rounds, but we're gonna divide it up right now. First of all, because we don't need much money. We are very efficient, alhamdulillah. We are, and most of the company senior members, they own the share of the like they have options, stock option. Basically, they own the part of the company, right? And then that's why we don't pay much. So that's why we don't have a crazy expense, alhamdulillah. We keep it quite lean. And one of the biggest challenges raising money from Muslims, alhamdulillah, I can be proud to say that we are pioneering. To answer this question, Brother Ali Rahman. So we have over 10,000 people showed interest. 10,000, even actually going up, maybe 11 to 12,000 by now, all around the world. They showed interest in investing in Musaffa. The biggest challenge with Muslim investors, they're not, again, respectfully, they're not financially savvy like in everybody, like not even US everybody's like, but they're not financial professionals. They're regular people. So what we need to do, again, exactly what we're doing right now in this webinar. What are we doing here? We are coming and giving you transparency. We're answering your questions. This is being done right now on a personal level. So we have over 10,000 people showed interest, over $100 million already. But the challenge is like setting a time and explaining the business model. And the best part, it's scalable. So right now, as soon as we have this all tremendous interest around the world, they come to our platform because it says halal. Now they ask the second question. Okay, I want to invest. I'm right at the door. For me to come in, explain to me your business. That's what's happening. I think that's one of the reasons that people join in this webinar, right? They want to know, okay, what is Musaffa is about? I want to invest, but I want to know more. This has been biggest challenge, but alhamdulillah, we're becoming more transparent. For example, next rounds, inshallah, we want to put investor relations page on the web page. And also whoever invests already, inshallah, we think about like on the app they can download, they can see the shares. There's more transparency, more education. So again, it's not because there's no interest, it's because there's so much interest and it's taken so much time to talk to people. So right now we hired 4 people, dedicated investor relations team associates. We hired from actually 5, 3 in the US and 2 in Canada right now. So specifically what these people do, like they get on a one-on-one call and they explain it. I think the challenge is not has them, of course, like 4 million, we don't need the 4 million right away. So we need it over time. So next round, inshallah, when we open it, it's going to be lower round. It won't be like 4 million. Probably it's going to be 1 or 2 million, but it will be in a shorter amount. We're still learning the process. The best part is like, I don't know any other Islamic company in the world who is as successful as ourselves, raising over 800 people already. This is not going getting a VC money or getting a money, big money from Saudi Arabian, like royal family or some big investment bank. All people who come here, including myself, is like regular people who believe in the vision and the mission. This is our company is very mission driven company. We want to stay true to that. That's why we don't want to raise, even though we have so many, alhamdulillah, they're approaching us, venture capitalist institutions, but we are putting them on hold. We are telling them, you know what, we want to give a chance to our community first. Let them come in. Because as the founder of the company, instead of working for a big corporation, I'd rather work for people like regular people like myself regular Muslims. If you make their $10,000, 20 or 30 or 40,000, that's gonna be monumental change in their lives compared to some VCs, some of the institutions, you make them millions, they already have billions. So we are more passionate about serving our community. To answer your question, Brother Rahman, it's just because it's taking time to educate people, just sit down and talk to them, explain them. It's taking time, but we're getting better. Last year it was a lot slower. I think this year we did like, Alhamdulillah, in that amount of time, I think we did like 4 or 5 times better than last year when it comes to raising funds. Now, inshallah, next round is going to even get better. Again, it takes about education. Like, for example, this time I was in Yahoo Finance, like Market Watch and all these publications. We're trying to get the Musaffa's name out there so people know more. They associate build some branding around it. So this things takes time. It's not because there is a lack of interest, Brother Ali Rahman. I can assure you we have more than 10,000 people right now. The problem is like we cannot get to them on time. How many people you can talk per day? So now we want to scale up. That's why we started we recently started the webinars. I said we cannot do one-on-one anymore because it's so much interest. Well, let's bring them in, let's give 1 hour, 2 hour speech. Let like hundreds of people benefit from it. I think with that we're gonna get better. For example, last webinar we did, we had so many people invest already. Alhamdulillah. It's just, I would say, brother Ar Rahman, it's more about the education, finding time, educating is number one roadblock. It's not because like we are not being successful, we are being extremely successful, Alhamdulillah. For example, last year, Salam Gateway, which is one of the reputable Islamic finance news agencies, or they ranked as number two Islamic fintech in US, number 10 in the world. And they list about, we have anybody wants that, we can share after the meeting. There are 417 Islamic fintechs in the world. 417, they're listed. We were ranked number 10. Or number two in the United States. Or Islamic Finance News, completely independent from Malaysia. They put us in top 30 out of 500 Islamic fintechs in the world. They put us top 30 notable companies. We were in top 30. So from the product standpoint or from the demand standpoint, I think we surpass anybody we know of, in the world. But the investments, again, brother Al Rahman, like again, this time we are really focusing on small investors. Last time, as you can see, like we raised for $1 million, 500, 200. But this time I said, you know what, let's go in detail. But I think there will come a time we're gonna say we will not accept more than $1,000 investment from per person because we want as many people own Musaffa, community owned Musaffa, not like some VC owned Musaffa.
Yeah, the Sadiqa mentioned a lot of about our achievements as a company, but I want to share a little bit about the achievement of our crowdfunding. To be honest, in the first crowdfunding, we closed 1 million. There's no company, not only the Islamic, but there's no company within US under crowdfunding regulation who raised 1 million at the first try, right? Since this crowdfunding, whatever the average is, 300,000 or 600,000, unless there are a few outliers. This is what Musaffa has done, being Islamic company. But another thing I can point out, and if someone can find it and show it to us, there's no Islamic company who raised any funds through crowdfunding in the US under US regulation, right? We are the first ones. And that's why people are reaching out to us saying that how you're doing it, that's successful. And then this round, it just through the last year, our crowdfunding showed around 30-40,000 maybe closing a month. Now we almost closed 250,000 per month, which is huge interest from all the ummah. And then this again takes the education and informing people because it's a different model, right? It's reaching out to regular people to support your project, basically. That's why it's a different approach. It's not like you go to VC and they invest you 10 million, right? We want to be a community oriented company. We stay with the community.
And one of the reasons we want to stay with the community, inshallah, I believe Musaffa is going to have 10,000, if not one day 100,000 owners. Why the people invest? Because people who invest also become our either customers or they become our ambassadors. That's what I love it, because somebody invests like even $1,000, and now most likely it's going to talk about in favorable terms to friends, families, right? And it also helps with basically free marketing, to be honest. So there's a lot of benefits to the crowdfunding, and we chose that way. And also, like, we also want to have stay true to our mission and vision. And we need people who really trust us with our mission and vision, and then we don't have to compromise it tomorrow. For example, on the emails we say assalamu alaikum, right? Always very proud of being Muslim, and we don't want somebody coming with the big money and say you cannot say salam alaikum anymore, right? You can say hi, hello. So there's a lot of restrictions right now. It gives the freedom to be who we are and stick to who we are and not deviate from our vision and mission. And people who really truly believe in that and they don't want to play a political game, they end up investing and supporting us. Okay. Any more questions? Brother Umar said, you've been very transparent and truthful. Inshallah, Musa will succeed and Ummah will benefit from your vision. Thank you, Brother Umar.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. I tell people again, this investment is not like it's a long-term investment. Your by the rules, minimum is 1 year lockup period, but we want people to invest 3 to 5 years. And going forward, we will be even more transparent. Inshallah, that's why we want to put investor relations webpage. Previously, what people invest, but even though we give updates through emails, that has been enough. So inshallah, we'll be much more transparent. Anybody can go visit on the website, investor relations. They can, and also we want to make it easy so they can log in, they can see their shares and growing. So we want to be as close as much even transparent as we can be. But Alhamdulillah, again, thank you for your nice word, Brother Umar. Again, this is why this webinar build trust. At the end of the day, it's all about trust. And Alhamdulillah, people are coming to office today, like they come in person to invest. MashaAllah. And then we have an office in New York, One World Trade Center on the 85th floor. Alhamdulillah, very nice location. And people are investing all around the world, as I said, over 50 different countries. But if you have any questions, please take it. If not, then we can wrap it up probably. Do you have any more questions, Sister Nusrat?
Yeah, we are at time, but we always get a question. I think we can end with this one, question about what we will use the investment money for. Like what is our long-term plans using the investment money? But that's one question we get. Either of you can decide how you want to answer that. Another one
I thought I
about
did answer it. Like, again, we are being extremely transparent how we're going to use the money right here.
Yeah, very quickly, we cannot also, because this is a part of the terms, we cannot like verbally tell you where we invest, because everyone has to go and see through the detailed. But we can point you, as the Shad brother is pointing you. If you can let them know how to click there too, the Shadika from the beginning. If you go to their
Yeah.
website, some
The
other people were
easiest
asking
one,
other
easiest
questions too.
one, Musaffa.com. Everybody goes to Musaffa.com, just the easiest one. You click on Invest Halal Now, and then you click right here, Offering Circular. Offering Circular. And SEC filing, when you click on, it also shows that we filed the documentation with the United States Security Exchange Commission. And you can see Musaffa Inc. But this is more like about extensive information will be after offering circular. But when you go here, you can sit down and read. You can read some. Alhamdulillah, again, I've analyzed hundreds of companies, if not thousands, myself, public companies. Some of them, they don't have 60 pages. I can tell you that. So it is enough information here to make an investment decision, inshallah. And here is exactly like if you go page 38 out of 60, it tells you use of proceeds. And it tells you like
Where are we going to use it?
like 60, 38 out of 38 page. And it tells you what percentage allocated. And also it explains, for example, like business and development. You might ask, what does your business development mean? And we do explain very in detail what it means. And we tell you why we spend that, why it matters. And we product and software development, what it is, why it matters, right? So it's very, very diligently explained how we're going to use the money to the penny, alhamdulillah. It's like, again, it's completely transparent. So as I was telling you, like, if, for example, I understand, but you guys need to understand, inshallah, we are here to change that. One thing I can tell you from the bottom of my heart when I say it, when you want to invest in Tesla, Apple, of course, there's a big companies. But if you want to invest in any kind of, let's say some kind of like biotechnology come out, startup came up, you want to invest. When it comes to being a Muslim company, we get more scrutiny because when it comes to Muslim, they're more skeptic for a reason, for some reason. We are here to change that. We should be proud of who we are. We should build our own products. And especially what's happening in the world right now, there's not a lot of platforms, they really represent Muslims. We have to, if you don't build our own platforms and that serves our own needs, then no one's gonna come and build it for us. It will not happen. We have to stand up. We have to, as a Muslims, we have to be proud of who we are, and we have our own unique identity, and we need to do it ourselves. And all we're asking you, Muslims, brothers, sisters, support us. Support us when we need it. Inshallah, I believe one day Mustafa is going to be so successful, we will give the community back. and we want to give it back. But at this stage, yes, we need. Why do we need to scale? To scale. It's not like we're trying to MVP. MVP is minimum viable product. We're not asking you money to test an idea. We have a paying product. Thousands of people are paying. They're finding value at Musaffa. Now, inshallah, once we break even, then it will be a lot even like more, not just the company becomes valuable, we will have less dependence on investments at this stage. If we take investment, it will be all only for growth. Okay, I think we're good. We can wrap it up. Sister Nusrat, if anybody wants to invest, they can reach out to us, or we can reach out to you. If anybody invests, please let us know. At least the minimum investment start with $1,000 is quite reasonable. We were gonna make it even less, then the raising funds becomes very expensive. We're already paying 7.5% to the brokerage. It's already transparent right there on the Form C that we filed. So 1,000 start with the minimum. In the worst case, I'll tell you, like, it's about the numbers. Yes, we need the money, but we need the people to support us. Even if it's $1,000, you become one more investor who trusts in Musaffa, and then that trust we need to build right now. Once we have the over 1,000, this round, we want to close with 1,000 investors. I think we are on the 820 something. We need 180 more investors, right? So we need reaching out to people. So if you can invest in, for example, if you want to invest like $2,000, your spouse and you can invest 1,000 each. So we also need the more number of people, so we can show the momentum so that more Muslims can join and support our innovation, right? So the worst case scenario, well, like $1,000, we have people. And one beautiful thing I can tell you, I think that we're doing a good job in Riyadh over there, alhamdulillah. We can do better job, but existing investors, we have existing investors invest 4 times already, some of them. They keep coming 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Once they invest, they see the progress, they see the communication and transparency, and especially last year they invested $1, now it's $2 a share. Where are they gonna get 100% return, right? So now they see that they keep coming back. So at least like if you can afford to invest the minimum 1,000. But the more you invest, the more we appreciate. Okay.
Thank you so much. Brother Renat, do you have anything you want to end with, or?
No, I guess we extensively covered everything, alhamdulillah. And then anyone who wants to reach out to us, they can use multiple of our emails if it is related to anything, the feedback of the features, which was the main topic of the today, and they can email to support or click the feedback feature on the app. And then if anyone is interested in the investment, which we covered today as well, about the crowdfunding, if they have the questions that are not covered, they can email, as the Shad Brother CEO mentioned, their investors from Musaffa.com.
Yes, anybody who's ready, jump in and go your contribution, inshallah, And again, I'm gonna end up with this again, as usual. Whatever you invest, inshallah, we're gonna do our best to again work really hard, make sure that your money works for not us, because you might be investing in us, but you actually investing in the future of Muslim Ummah. That's what I believe, because while we're building tools and academy and all the tools that we're using, inshallah, millions and millions of Muslims gonna use that. So again, to wrap it up, yes, you can invest. Again, your investment, inshallah, not is going to give you just monetary returns, but inshallah, the goal is to get actually supporting a Muslim company that's growing, and that's proven that it's growing, and also make ajr, inshallah, right? That's the goal, you know. And I tell you, how often do you get a chance in invest in a company that's actually like ours, who's actually working truly for Muslims' advantage and education and prosperity in the short and long term, right? Inshallah. Okay, yeah, brother Sulaiman from Uganda. I don't know if we talked before, but thank you so much for joining. Any part of the world, as far as you know, any part of the world they can invest. So they can invest. If for some reason they cannot invest, our platform will tell them, but most likely anybody can invest, inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you have any questions at investor@musaffa.com, you can reach out right away. If not, if you're ready, you can read it and you can just start making investments. Even if we reach out to you, I don't think we're gonna explain better than what we explained right now. So I think that was really good session. And also on top of that, again, go through the 60 pages if you want. If you feel confident, again, feel free to invest, inshallah.
Awesome. Jazakallah khair.
Thanks, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Everybody. May Allah bless you.